stuff at work, so
That's okay.
hello. How you doing?
You remember my brother?
Yeah. How's it going?
Good.
Good. So this is where you're living now, or are you going to live?
We're living now.
Okay. Okay. Do you need furniture? Do you need a referral for anything? or-
No, we're rehabbing the other house,
Are you?
and so we just didn't want to bring everything over here.
Gotcha. So that's really the house you're going to be living in. It's over there.
Yeah.
Here. Okay.
Eventually, once we're done
Okay.
with it, yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And then I just had to get this fridge
Sure.
because my other one went out.
Okay.
But I do have a fridge over there. I took pictures
Yeah.
of the food and everything.
Oh, you got food over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're kind of back and forth.
Yeah, well, this just went out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
So she put the food from that
Yeah,
fridge
but over
inside
there.
one.
Gotcha.
so
Makes
it didn't
sense.
go bad.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
But I do have some.
So what are you gonna do with this house? You're just rehabbing this one too after, or are you gonna rent it out, or
It's a rental.
is it a rental? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just staying here temporarily until.
Yeah,
How long do you think that house over there is gonna take you to finish up?
hopefully another 2-3 weeks.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. And then that's the bathroom. Is that the only bathroom you got over here? Okay. There's a shower. Okay. Yeah. Nice. And where do the kids? Are they upstairs? Do they sleep? Okay. I'll follow you.
We'll start in AJ's room.
Sure. Got the bed. Got the. Everything. Oh, what's that? A karaoke machine?
Karaoke
Oh, cool.
machine. He got it for
Nice.
his birthday. He loves to
Alright.
sing. That's Eli.
Nice. All their other clothes and stuff over there. And then this is the little one. Your
This-
room?
This is actually David and Zeke.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Like you have a little sitting room and then
Yeah.
bed back there. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
And then when Joshua comes, he'll sleep with AJ.
Okay.
And then Adeline, she'll have her own room.
Where will she have?
She'll be.
She'll take it over there and
Yeah.
he'll go in here or.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
As long as she
I've
doesn't-
got another bed. I've got several more beds actually.
Okay. I mean, if you do need a bed or something.
Oh no, I've got
we can provide
several.
it for you. Okay.
I've got several.
Well, anytime you need a bed, if you know, just a twin size bed, they'll send one to you.
You guys buy king size? I need one.
We only do it for the kids, unfortunately, and it's twins. So I wish we did help.
They're spoiled with kings.
Yeah, no kidding. Gosh,
Lucky.
they're lucky. Yeah.
AJ loves his bed.
I swear, I couldn't live without a king. Like,
I
couldn't do it.
bought a king just for me and my wife separated, ex-wife separated, and I never even got to sleep in it.
what?
Her and her new boyfriend get to enjoy that.
I'll be happy. I think you should have asked for that divorce.
I gave her, I don't want to deal with nothing, so you can have it all.
Yep.
I will start fresh.
Nice. Okay. Sure. I mean, this is good for the temporary thing. I mean, obviously, you're working on the other house, so I mean, there's no issues here. Just just make sure you have a separate room for Adeline.
Oh yeah, she'll be in that far room.
Okay.
And over at the other house, she'll have her own room. I'm tearing out a wall to make it even bigger.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so she likes it.
All right. Okay.
Because over there I have 4 bedrooms, but I'm making a 5th.
Right. I think we talked about that the last time.
Yeah, and that'll be her bedroom.
Right. Okay. All right.
I mean, even over there, she'll still have her own room till her
Yeah.
room's finished.
Did well, I'm gonna tell you. Last night she went to the ER because her wrist was swollen, and like two of her fingers on her right hand are not like moving that good. So like they took X-rays and blood tests. So far they haven't found anything, so they don't know what's going on. But Elizabeth did take her because with the power of attorney, she could take her to places. But any decisions would be up to him. You know what I mean? Like if there's whatever, like if she needs surgery or something like that, that's gonna give it to him. But so far, there's no like, and I'm gonna get the reports from the. I think she probably took her to Lake Huron because it's right around the corner. So I'm gonna try to get the records. But I just want to let you know that she did go last night.
Okay.
Because I don't know if Elizabeth tried to call you or she didn't know. And that's probably because, I mean, you could have showed up, but you're,
No,
Because last time, when she went to the hospital last time, you showed up, right?
Yeah.
And you could give authorization for service or no?
No.
Okay. All right.
I explained to him the situation.
Yeah. So they still had to call him.
No. Kara's grandmother. Because that's who she was staying with.
Oh,
at
it
the
was
time.
grandma. I thought it was Elizabeth. Did Elizabeth? I thought Elizabeth took her once too. She had RSV.
That was me.
That was you, right?
I took
But you
her.
had joint custody at that time, right?
No.
How long have you not had joint custody then?
Since 2017,
17. Okay. All right.
which was totally
It's gonna
like
change.
Yeah.
it wasn't even supposed to be that.
Yeah.
Because in the hearing, Judge Brown did not grant him sole legal, but they won't give me the transcripts.
They won't.
No,
That's weird.
because I wasn't even aware that he had joint. I knew he had sole physical, but not sole legal.
Right.
That's what was said at the hearing, but they won't.
I don't know. Hopefully that'll all get resolved on the 20th for you.
So now, when he's charged or when he's convicted of this domestic violence,
And
where's that lay with you guys?
Well, depends on if there's still no contact order. We have to reevaluate it at that time. And okay, so
Well, you would think with the domestic violence being committed on Adeline and he's found guilty of it, you think that would be,
we have this all the time where we don't remove, we provide services. This is what the courts want us to do. They want us to provide services to the family. Like back in the day, we probably would have removed. Back in the day, if somebody was like, if they were on drugs, we would remove. But now the courts are like finding that we just provide services. So that's what we're doing right now. Now, if he does not follow his bond or anything else, then that's a different story. Like, I tried to find out, like, did you ever find out who the officer was yesterday?
no, I can look on the video.
Yeah, would you? Because he's claiming that Alan was here. Well, that's a violation of his bond. He's not to have contact with her. Like, that's, like, you know what I mean? Like, that, if that's what he thinks that happened, and it's proven, then obviously, you know what I mean? Like, that's a violation.
I mean, I could say she was here, but I'd be lying.
No, I know. I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want you to lie, but he said that he saw her here, that he...
It wasn't even here.
It was the other one on Beard Street. But I'm just saying, like, you're not making sense right now. Like, you're saying...
Because you're admitting that you're in violation of your bond.
Well, if she was there, but you're not, she's not there, so, and it is what it is. Like,
oh, I didn't tell you Josh showed up yesterday with the police.
really. And then you had called the police. So there was 2 law enforcement people there?
No, I didn't even realize the police had showed up with him.
Gotcha.
All I seen was Josh
Yeah.
pull up. And I immediately started recording, and on the other phone, I called 911 because I didn't see the officers pull up.
Yeah.
And then when I seen them, I hung up on the phone with the officer.
You should have got your own set of police officers there.
Well, I told them my name and everything, that I wanted to file a report. I needed officers there immediately.
Did you go and file a PPO?
No, I've been so busy right now.
I know, I'm sure with getting that house ready and then just doing your regular job, that's a lot. Well, I mean, at this point, we're, waiting for your date as far as friend of court to see how that works out, and then his court date too.
His court date's September 3rd.
Is it okay? Because he wasn't sure if it was the 3rd or the 6th, so
It's
I was
the
gonna look
3rd.
it up. Is it the 3rd?
9/3.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, all we can do is just I'm gonna let friend of court know that the place is appropriate, but you're also gonna be possibly moving to a different home once you get it fixed up. But for right now, this is appropriate, and then they can go from there. Like, see what happens on it's the 20th, right? August 20th,
21st.
21st. Okay.
I really hope he ends up seeing a jury trial.
What do you mean what do you mean?
For Joshua, so they can actually look at all of his evidence and actually see it in court.
I'm sure they're looking at all of it right now.
Because the other 90% of the evidence against him hasn't even been shown in court yet. If they could see that, he'd be under the jail right now. He'd be in Guantanamo Bay.
He bomb threatened Yale, the city of Yale,
In police report.
to an officer.
Wow.
Threatened to
Didn't you show me that?
Yeah.
Okay.
threatened to bomb the power grid. That's a terroristic threat. It affects the entire
I
city.
had a client do the same thing down in Marysville, and he went to jail for probably 6 months. That was
didn't
it.
even go to jail.
But again, mental health court is a little different.
Not done that.
Yeah. So like you can plead, and then you have to follow your terms. He might be on probation for 2 years. He could have a no contact order with her for a while. So then we're gonna,
Well, the prosecutor already said she's going to make sure that there is a no contact order still
Yeah.
in place after he goes in and is accepted into mental health court.
Gotcha.
Adeline told the prosecutor she does not want to go home. She does not feel safe.
Yeah.
So if you guys at that point, when she's telling you guys that she does not feel safe, and if you guys were to place her back at home, that would be totally negligent on your end, because this kid, 15 years old, is telling you she fears this man. And she told officers that she fears for her life.
Yeah.
It's in police reports.
She should be old enough where she has to say where she wants to go.
And she could file soon for emancipation too
That's got to be approved
by parents.
by a parent.
Yeah.
And Josh ain't approving that.
Yeah.
And at this point, I don't feel she's responsible enough to go out there on her own.
Yeah.
Just the little things that I've talked to Elizabeth about. Adeline has her dad in her. She has manipulation.
Mhm.
And I see that. And other people see that. So until I can prove that she is
Able to care for herself.
care for herself, I'm not going to let her go out into the world so she can fall flat on her face.
Right. Yeah. Because we're just gonna end up having to she's not built up for success at this point. Is
No.
What you're saying.
She's not.
No.
Really,
No, she's
I mean, not
had.
many 15-year-olds
she-
are.
But the thing is, you also got to look who's been raising her. And he's obviously got a lot of mental problems. And that falls back onto Adeline because everything's over dramatized. Everything. And I know even as a 15-year-old teenager, life's dramatized.
Yeah.
And then
And then
you
you-
add that to it.
Yeah. It gets more and
That's
more.
mental health.
Right.
I
Well, at least she's set up to go to CMH, so like that's a good thing. And Josh is supposed to be like Joshua, the younger one. I get him confused because they're both the same name, but
junior, senior.
that's what I say. Josh Junior, Josh. Okay, so Josh.
I don't even call him Junior. He don't like it.
Yeah. So they both have to go to CMH. I mean that's court order.
And it's
with the
court.
friend of court.
And it's court order that I go to, and Abdullah.
Well, I don't think they really have therapists because like she just had her psych eval, so like they haven't actually given her like a therapist.
She had her psych eval like last month.
Right, but here's the problem. He wouldn't sign the POA, so we had to like in order for her to go is like make sure that there's a POA right now. for Elizabeth to make those appointments. I mean, Josh could make them, but I mean, Elizabeth can't go in or get any information. It's just for her to take her to it.
Yeah.
Like he had to sign a release for her to just take her the last time, but now that she has that, she doesn't have to go through that process. So her appointment is, I think the 8th. What's today? 7th. So I think it's tomorrow. But then from there on out, like they can, if I think they want to get a couple where she's by herself and then incorporate you.
Have you seen Joshua lately?
No. Oh, well, the last time I saw him was last week, Friday, I think it was.
How's he doing?
He's okay. I talked to him a little bit. He's doing all right.
He didn't want to go home.
Yeah. See, I really haven't had.
And the officer was going to let him stay.
Really?
The chief of police is
Yeah.
going to say.
Chief Head.
Is that the chief here?
No,
Or out there, yeah.
That's Yale.
Okay.
Because they were running the investigation.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to have any charges?
No.
Okay. I'm just.
I was
asking-
already told I don't.
Okay. Because I was just asking because
I didn't go against the law. Really,
Went
you
against
guys
statute,
did.
Went against statute. Went against.
I went against statute,
Yeah.
but not
The
lawful.
law overrules statute.
yeah.
And Chief Head recognized that.
Yeah.
You guys were the ones that ultimately committed the crime,
Doing what?
taking Joshua out of my home.
I didn't do that personally.
No, it was your orders, though.
The CPS.
It was CPS,
The
your guys'
organization.
orders. Because Chief Head, after Joshua had left, called that officer to bring him back to my house.
And they wouldn't do it.
And they wouldn't do it because of your orders.
Our orders, but
The,
we went by
That's-
front of
They
court.
said that
we went
they
by
s-
front of court what they told us. That was nothing. We just
no, we're not talking about you guys personally. We're
No, I
talking
know,
about
not
the
me
organization.
personally.
The organization.
Yeah. So honestly, like, friend of court says that you have to have supervised visits. That doesn't mean that you can go take your child and bring them to your home and have unsupervised contact.
That thing I served you with,
That we don't recognize that. Neither does any of the courts. Neither does law
Supreme Court
enforcement.
does.
Who does?
Supreme and federal.
Well, we have to go by what our legal and what the courts say to us. So,
Yeah, but when I'm telling you that you took an oath and you don't have immunity.
I'm just following what I'm told to do. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? That agency, you can go after them. Me personally, I'm just doing my job.
But that's what they all say in litigation. And they still go down.
Hey, if I go down, I go down. I mean, that's part of the thing. But we sent that to legal. We sent it to the courts, and all of them said that it's not anything that they recognize.
It's because they're the wrong courts. They're an Article 1 court, not an Article 3 court.
Okay.
But
Article
Chief
1
Head
court is
Yeah.
administration.
recognized that. And I told him, I said, go take a look at your oath before you decide to kick in my door.
Yeah.
And
They
he-
didn't kick your door in, though, did they?
They were going to.
They were going to.
oh, they had the warrant signed.
Search warrant signed to boot in the door.
Mm-hmm.
Got him to back down.
Chief Head last minute. He called me back. He said, you
After they said for hours that we can't talk to Chief Head.
Really?
Hours.
called him out of bed.
Fifth hour in of being trapped in that house. Fifth
Yeah.
hour in, we finally got a hold of Chief Head. He
Huh.
called her from his personal phone.
Sat on the phone with him for about
2 hours.
2 hours.
Really?
And the entire time, he's like, "There's nothing I can do. My hands are tied. I'm not."
Just go out and let him arrest you, take you to jail, and go see a judge tomorrow. I was like, that's not an option.
Yeah.
Read your oath of office.
I
And he
said,
did.
all right, well, since there's no option, and I guess I'm going to jail with you knowing you kicked in my door. And I said, before you decide to kick in any doors, go read your oath of office on that constitutional right. Because it's a thing, and you should ask Steve Sanchez about it, because he's going to testify against everything.
What do you mean? What is he gonna testify against everything?
All the stuff that he has seen, and in my life that I know my constitutional rights. I've told
I
you
don't
guys
doubt
that
that. I've never
I
said
know
that
my
you don't.
constitutional rights, and the fact that everybody went against that, against better judgment. And it's not even for me at this point. It's I have to hold the people accountable that are endangering my kids. And my kids are endangered at this point, and that's why I did what I did. Because you guys are failing to do your jobs, and that's how I feel because you guys keep placing him in a home with Richard Brooks. When he was taken from my house, he went to 4th Street, Joshua, and Richard Brooks was living on the property
Just now,
in the
4th
mobile
Street?
home.
He didn't go to 4th Street.
Chief had told me he was taken over to 4th Street by the cops. Went over personally to check on him at 4th Street.
I have to talk to Chief now
'Cause I
because
called-
as far as I know, he went back to the home that Josh and him live at.
No,
Which is on-
not when Josh was in jail. When he was removed from my house that Monday, he went over to the address on 4th Street.
That's where James
That's
lives?
where James lived. And James was, when you guys kicked Richard out of 1st Street, he went over to live at 4th Street in the camper on the yard. And I called Chief Head that very next day.
So why didn't Joshua Jr. contact me to tell me where he was at? And James? Because when I
Because
met
he
with
doesn't
him-
have a phone. And when he's with James, they isolate him from the whole world.
Gotcha.
They take his phone, take his Xbox, and he's not allowed on nothing.
Because when I did like I just did an unannounced visit, they were at the what was it 1st Street, 7th Street?
Yeah,
whatever it
but
is.
that's after he had got out of jail.
No, this was before he got out of jail. I went there.
Yeah, that next day. But the day before that,
Oh,
I-
the day before.
the day before that,
Was he at Jessica's house?
yeah.
Was it Jessica's house?
It's Melissa, but Jessica, James,
yeah, they all
Richard
live
Brooks,
there, yeah.
everybody lives there.
Yeah.
But all of these people are inappropriate, and I kept saying these people are inappropriate. And I felt like nobody was caring, nobody was listening, and my son's calling me, Mom, when are you coming? Mom, when are you coming? I want to get out of
James
here.
was supposed to be at the house with his grandfather and Brian, and Josh Jr. was supposed to be there. I mean, he wasn't supposed to be over at Jessica's house.
That's where the police took him.
And I don't know why, because he should have been taken back to unless Richard was still at that house, and then they switched, because he was not to have any contact with them.
Oh yeah, well he wasn't to have any contact with him, and I filed a parenting
Right.
complaint.
Right.
And it just, I feel like all these people that he knows as sex offenders.
Half
And
of his family is sex offenders.
Patrick, who
His brother.
his brother, who Joshua was living in a basement with over in Village Manor in the same bedroom.
Mm.
And that's around the time that he went to jail and was convicted and sent to prison for a case that happened probably 7 years ago.
Right.
But he's still inappropriate.
So, you know, when you say like when you have a court order, you're not supposed to take your kid over here and have unsupervised visits with them. That's what you said, right? But when
There's a court order through a friend of court.
Right,
Not
right.
with us. A friend of court. Friend of court has put that in place.
which is not a court. So when you say that,
They supersede us with the custody orders, so like we have to follow what they.
But they're only friend of the court.
they're not even a court.
They're not a court.
They illegally make all these court decisions. They're not even a court.
They're only friend.
So
That's something you have to deal with the friend of court with. Like we follow. We've gotten into trouble where we tell parents to keep the kid and stuff like that. We get in trouble.
that's
We're not
just not.
supposed to do.
But that's that's
You don't
that's,
supersede. You supersede.
No, we don't.
They already told me. They said
Yeah,
whatever CPS decides is in the best interest, that's what we're gonna go
Well,
with.
if we were to remove the children, yeah.
That's messed up. That's messed up that there's a double standard where if they tell you to remove the kids and there's
They
no
haven't
reason.
told us to remove the kids.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you get an order to say remove the kids, and then you do remove the kids, even after you find that there's nothing wrong, that's kidnapping. Just because they said to remove
But we
the kids
wouldn't
doesn't
remove
mean
kids
you
if
can.
there's nothing wrong.
That's
Yeah, I know, but you guys are trying to like.
No,
No,
I'm
make
not
it seem
talking about you.
No, I'm not. I know, not me personally. I mean, our agency. What I'm trying to say is, front of court already had something in place. We didn't. We're coming in and we did an investigation. We're providing services to you and to him. We both have cases. No, well, you don't have a case, but Abdullah does. Abdullah did what he's supposed to do. I'm seeing your home. So at this point, we can close your case. I need to meet with you and him and the children to do a family team meeting to close the case.
Mm-hmm.
So then your case is done. We're done.
So no 30 days. We don't have to wait
Well,
30
I mean, I
days.
still want to wait till after your court date and see what happens with. Well, not really even see what happens to him. I'm sure I can close it after the FLC hearing.
But why do we have to wait?
I mean, it's going to take me that long to do it. Is what I'm trying to say. Like I have to wait because I have like 4 other cases that I'm closing that are before you. So like it takes time to do your case. I still have to do some background stuff, and that's how long it takes. 30 days, plus I wanted to see how front of court goes. It's going to take me about 30 days to close it. Especially if we're not doing an FTM right now. Like if we were doing the FTM, it would take me 30 days from today to actually close your case. So you tell me when you want to do the family team meeting.
I'll meet with you later today.
I can't meet with you later today. And I'm off the next 2 days, so it's going to have to be next week. And we can do it Monday.
What is Monday?
Monday is, well, we have today's the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. I think the 12th. But I have court at 2:30, so.
That's the 12th.
Yeah, 12. We could do it in the morning, or we could do it in the afternoon. But I'm trying to, because I don't think I have anything scheduled other than I have court at 2:30. So you choose. You let me know what's good, and we'll do the family team meeting. Okay.
Sounds good.
Any other questions?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nothing you want to hear from us.
What's that?
Nothing you want to hear from us.
I mean, no, it's okay. You guys can complain. I get it.
It's very frustrating.
I get it. I understand.
For a situation that's not even mine.
Because the way we look at it, the front of the court, even the judicial system that's in here in St. Clair County, that is not a real court.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear a court order, it's like that's a bullshit order because it's not even a real court. It's just an administration court. That's all it is.
Well, they put it in place. You're following it, and
But that's the problem.
I
We
know.
follow it, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, we actually have some say here. We're going to continue doing so because they're put in place by Congress, not legislation."
So do you think that when we remove kids that you follow that too, or that's not legit?
If you get your orders from that court, that is a bullshit order, in my
Not
opinion.
from front of court, but if we went to our like juvenile court, you would.
It's not a court. You're trying people in the wrong court.
It has to be an Article 3 legislative court. Congress court is Article 1. That's where you get your front of the court. That's where you get your district courts.
You know what
District court.
district and circuit are for?
Mhm.
Military and tribunal purposes only. And I didn't sign that contract with the government, so that doesn't abide by. I don't have to abide by that because that's a statute.
So you only abide by to the federal courts? Is that what you're saying?
So if you, I'm saying, if you wanted to take me to court for criminal charges,
Mhm.
it has to be a crime.
Right.
And not paying child support is not a crime,
Mhm.
even though they make it a felony. But really, they're trying you in the wrong court.
Uh-huh.
Because if they want to try you, they've got to take you up to federal or supreme, which supersedes all of these military and tribunal purposes only courts. Because cops, you guys, you're on the same level as us.
Yeah.
You have no more power in this world than we do.
You just fall under a bunch of
You
more
fall
rules
under
that we don't
statutes.
recognize. We don't follow those rules. Those aren't rules to us. Those are other people's regulations that
I'm a
try
part
to
of,
be put
we're,
bestowed on
we're a
us.
part of the AFR, which is the America's First Republic of the United States of America. I don't live within 10 square miles of District of Columbia. That's its own country. I live outside of that, which is territories. And when I live in territories, when you say territories, that's my address. I'm in the territory of Michigan. I'm not in the territory of, or in the country of DC, District of Columbia, and I don't fall within that. So if you wanted to try me, you would have to take it up to the higher
Which is
courts.
in DC, is that what you're saying? DC is the
Which is-
place where.
Well, it's Supreme,
Mhm.
which is overseen through DC.
Gotcha.
And when people come and recognize that they have constitutional rights, they wrote them.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna show her something.
And they don't violate them. And if you come in front of your courts for an officer or an agency or a representative who has violated that, they take that very serious. And you lose your job.
You lose your diplomatic.
You lose your diplomatic
not
immunity. Not
total immunity. Total immunity.
You lose your total immunity, and people like workers and CPS workers and officers and representatives of the agencies doesn't recognize that because and it's not your fault, because they give you a procedure that you're taught, and you have to learn that to become a worker. You have to go to schooling to do that. I don't have to go to schooling to be in America's First Republic, because that's my right.
Mhm.
I was born with that. That was God given to me.
Naturalized.
Right, naturalized. And the government, since they separated God and the government, you can't incorporate that. Well, up in Supreme Court, that's the supreme law of the land. So when
Supersedes any statute.
it supersedes anything, and
So have you taken anything to the Supreme Court? Like.
Oh, that's
when,
my next stop.
When you had I'm just saying when front of court put that in place, why didn't you take it to Supreme Court at that time?
Because we have to go by your guys' procedures. We're gonna have to get denied.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna have to trample all over our rights, and then that's when we
I
take
don't
it to
think
the
I don't
appellate
know
court.
if we're trampling all over your rights, but that's how you feel. That's how you
I mean,
feel.
this is a false case that you guys are here on my behalf
For Abdullah.
for Abdullah. It's false accusations. He clearly did not punch my son in the face. And however you guys look at it, whatever evidence you guys claim you had, my son clearly said that no, my dad didn't punch me in my face. And I told you even what the bruise was from. It was from a car accident.
Mhm.
And when he hit his head on the windshield.
Yeah, and I
Or
was the
window.
investigator of the case. Yeah, I mean,
Not
I
the
know you told me-
windshield.
Right. And honestly, that was the investigation. Like,
Right.
I take over from that point.
But even then was a conflict of interest.
I'm sorry.
Even that was a conflict of interest, and I stated that from the very
You
jump.
mean from the investigator?
Hmm. Well, the supervisor was
Sarah.
Meta was my probation officer when I was a juvenile.
Mm-hmm.
So right there's a conflict of interest. And I stated that. I stated that to Sarah.
You did.
And they went forth and made false accusations and pointed the fingers in my face. Each Detective Connolly,
Yeah.
he pointed fingers in my face and said he doesn't believe me. I've had so many of you guys look at us and say, well, I believe you did it. Josh made false allegations when Adeline was like 3-4 years old. She fell off onto the curb and hit her lip, and he took her to the hospital and said that Daddy punched her in her mouth.
Yeah.
And coached Adeline to say it. So we had a worker show up and said, I believe you did it. Guess what? Nothing was ever substantiated.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the extent to what I've had to go through.
Yeah.
Coaching my kids to turn against me, to lie. Interviews at front of the court, lied. Joshua straight up told me, my dad told us what to say, and if
Yeah.
we didn't say it, we would have got in trouble.
Right.
And guess what? I had you guys show up at my doorstep not even 2 weeks after the interview. And it's exactly
For the same allegations? Same thing?
abuse.
Oh, for abuse?
Abuse. I had a detective show up at my door and looked at me and said, you got somewhere safe where your kids could go because they can't know. My kids ain't going nowhere. They're safe right here up
Yeah.
underneath my roof, because once they step outside
Yeah.
of that, they're not safe anymore.
Right.
I'm their safety.
Mhm.
I keep them safe. My kids look at me every day to keep them safe.
Right.
And that is being here with them, feeding them, keeping them safe, make sure all the doors are locked, no strangers can get in our house. Everything. And you guys say you got a job to do. Well, so do I.
Yeah.
And that's protect all 8 of my children. Not just Adeline and Josh, not just the 4 that I have here, not just Kayla and Antonio. It's all of them.
Right.
It's a group. It's a family. It's a unit.
Mhm.
And when you guys come in, you guys tear families apart. And I've seen it just in my family.
Do you think though that CPS has changed over the years?
No,
Do you think we still like to tear families apart?
that's the
like-
whole goal.
They've
I've-
revamped a lot of things. Like we try to keep families together. Like I've been here for 8 years, and yeah, at the beginning I was like, why are you doing this to these families? Like, especially when it came to like domestic violence, like we would separate them and stuff.
It's
like that.
illegal for you
We
to
didn't really
take.
separate them. We just said you need a timeout type thing. But these days we want parents to have healthy relationships, coping mechanisms, and things like that. That's why we get involved, and we provide the services for that. So I think it's different now. Like, I don't know. That's my opinion. You know, we all have our own opinions, and you know, we have to just kind of.
There's one goal to me for CPS, and it's cha-ching, money. I moved in and I bought this foster home, and I'm gonna tell you, I seen the devil come up out of there.
There's so many receipts.
Receipts, bills, every kid that walked through that foster home was a dollar sign.
Wow. It's not the way it's supposed to be.
But it is. And I grew up in that system, and I know that system, and I know the people and the drunks and the drug addicts that you put kids into. And they make it, I'm a great person, place kids with me. No, they're not in it for the kids. They don't love and tender care like a parent would. It's not their kid. They get money. I had books dated back to the 90s of money. That's all a kid was to these people.
Well, I mean, all we can do is work on changing it. I mean, I know a lot of people feel that way, but I mean, I see differently. I've seen loving foster care parents.
I've been into 13 different homes.
And I get it. I understand that. I'm just saying, like, I have seen, and I even have friends that do foster care.
I call 2 of my foster parents mom and dad.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not all bad.
No, they're not.
I'm not saying all of them are
Yeah.
bad. You guys placed us with the pastor and his wife.
And they were bad.
We got
No,
lucky.
they weren't
No,
bad.
they were,
We
they
got
were good?
lucky.
Okay.
We got
very
lucky. But you want to know what? Today he's not a pastor. He had to resign. You want to know why?
Wow.
Because he was corrupt.
He was,
He was corrupt.
he was peddling money from the church.
Really?
Yeah, he even got $2,000 out of me. And I'm his
Really?
foster son. Yeah. He told me.
See, that's sad. Like,
He told me he was taking my foster mom on a 25th anniversary trip, and at the time I didn't even know they had money issues. Like I ended up finding out from somebody else that he took that $2,000 that I gave him for them to go on their trip and just paid somebody else back.
Really?
When we went in there
That's sad.
when we were 13, they were already $80,000 in debt. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew it.
And I was their first foster kid at the age of 11.
Really?
Nobody knew it.
But they were good. How many? And you said you were in 13 homes. How come we had to leave that one?
Because we went home.
Oh, we went home. And
But then we went back into the foster care
Less than a
system.
year later.
And I believe that's traumatic for kids.
It
I
is.
do. I think that's way too traumatic.
But you see, I turned out just fine.
All it did for us was fueled our fire. Like, to us, a perfect world would be where there's no friendly court. There's no, because
You don't think there should be CPS?
No.
We shouldn't be checking out kids. to
I
make sure
mean-
they're okay?
I mean, don't get me wrong. The Bible says
Yeah.
there's sins.
Yeah.
And you need to be held accountable.
Yeah.
That's murder. What name them, John?
the four maximum law is murder, steal, trespassing, and bearing under false contracts. That's the four maximums of law.
And now if
That's
you're
natural
doing
law.
that and you're harming a child, legitly
Yeah.
harming a child, and it's clear as day, no. I believe the CPS should come in and take that child.
We
But
just have too much rain. Too much rain.
yeah,
I almost want to say I beg to differ with you because we really don't. Like, I don't know, man. I just wish you could be a fly on the wall for us. You know, like I'm serious. Like
I'm
don't-
not even talking about you guys. Like, I'm talking about
not,
all
even,
of.
not personally, but I mean when we go and we say this, and this is what's occurring. I mean, we're getting such pushback now. Like we just, yeah, it's just different now. It's just totally different. I know that just know that behind the scenes we are doing things that to protect children, but that people don't see, but they only see like the worst parts of us. And really we do have the best interest for the children.
I believe you guys personally do, but I don't think the agency does.
Gotcha. And that's fair opinion. That's a fair opinion. All I can do is
Because you guys are people too.
Mhm.
You guys walk on your own 2 feet. You guys have your own brains.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes.
like
The
Steven
word-
Sanchez, I could walk by him on the street and know him and say, hi, Steve.
yeah.
I have that kind of relationship with Steve.
Right.
Steve has never violated my rights, and he always knew that I had rights. The very first conversation I ever had with Steve was right after Zeke was born. Zeke just turned 7 years old. He's
Uh-huh.
been in my life now for 7 years. I've known
Right.
Steve. The very first conversation I had with him, I went back and forth with him. Probably a whole hour and a half. And his supervisor,
Yeah.
whole,
Who was it at that time?
I don't even know.
7 years ago. I wonder
But-
if it was Blaine.
Yeah.
Blaine Gould. Yeah.
But I made him understand that no, you're not coming to my house.
Yeah.
And if you do, if I ever let you in my house, you're not welcome to just talk to my kids.
Right.
My kids, if I don't have to put
I
them,
respect that. I mean,
if I don't have to put them and have them questioned by
Right.
an agency, I'm not going to
Mhm.
subject that to them.
Right.
Because that's a part of protecting them.
Right.
And you're not here to help them, really. You're here, in my eyes, you're a stranger. My kids don't know you. I teach my kids stranger danger.
Right.
I tell them, are you going to let a random stranger from the street
Just
walk
talk to
through
you,
your
yeah.
house
Mm-mm.
and come and check your fridge, see if you got beds? No,
Right.
you're not. And that's a part of me being a parent, to protect them.
Right.
Because without me, they wouldn't know what to do.
Right. They put themselves in danger all the time.
I gave birth.
Yeah.
I gave birth to them,
Yeah.
and God gave me them.
Right.
And that's who I have to protect. That is my main purpose on this life, so that they can reproduce in life,
And
to
be-
protect their
and
kids,
be a good person growing up. And,
Right.
have-
and to
yeah.
protect their kids,
Right.
and instill them the qualities that we want them to have:
Right.
respect.
Which I see that with your kids all the time. Like they're very respectful.
Even Adeline and Josh,
Yeah.
even though a mental man raised them half their
They
life,
still got you. In
they
them.
still have me in them.
Yeah.
And
And they're respectful
I
all
don't.
the time that I
My
talk to
kids have
them.
never disrespected me the way that they have Josh. And I told him, I said, karma is going to hit you hard. God does not like ugly. When you sit there and you claim Christian
Yeah.
and you're out here doing this,
Yeah.
first of all, you're hurting what God gave you,
Mm-hmm.
your child, your kid, your offspring.
I know. Well,
so God's going to get them either way, whether you guys do or
yeah,
God does.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I gotta go. So Monday, you want to look? You want to get back to me on time to schedule, or did we schedule? Like, did I write that down?
I can call you and let you know
Sure.
what time Monday.
If you can't do it Monday, Tuesday's fine too. Like, I don't really have anything scheduled next week, so if that's not a good day.
Well, I want my case to be closed before these kids start back school, because it's been going on
Man, I could try.
since they've been in school.
All I can say is I could try, because
the beginning of May is when it was opened.
well, that's about right. Like we usually, like for a category 2, it's 6 months that we hold it open, but you're actually closing it sooner than that, so you're getting it closed sooner than that. So
Well, it should be closed now.
I know, but look at all the stuff that's happened. Like, how would I?
Not on my case, though.
No. But no, not with your case. But you are on. You're not on the other case, but you're part of it because those are your children. So like,
No, I'm saying the case with
Abdullah. Yeah, we're gonna get that
because Abdullah has nothing to do with friend of the court at all.
Well, he does have. He can do once she gets established with counseling. He can do counseling with her, right?
We're all supposed to do counseling.
Right. We got to get that moving too. Like, I got to talk to the therapist and get that moving. Like, I know she has an appointment tomorrow, so I don't know how long. I mean, I'd like to get it like within the next week. That you can, in the next couple of weeks, that you can go out there and have a session with you and Adeline and the therapist.
Yeah.
And I don't know when Josh had a tele one, because at the time Josh Senior was still incarcerated, but he had an appointment by telehealth, like via
Zoom.
Pardon me? Zoom, yeah, like Zoom or Teams or whatever they use. So I'll talk to that therapist too, so we can get you set up with him too.
Yeah.
It's for him and her, right?
Yeah, Joshua and Adeline.
I know right now they're having separate ones, but you probably would want to do like a separate one with Adeline and a separate one with Josh.
Yeah.
With their therapist, and then eventually incorporate all of you guys together.
Not Josh, right?
No, not Josh Senior.
Good.
No, he's not part of that. He has to do that on his own. Like if you know.
I know he was ordered by friend of the court to do a 4-week course for parenting class.
I'll have to find out if he did that.
Yeah, because that is an order.
Yeah. Did you get a hold of your therapist? Did they
I'm still waiting on her to call me
If
back.
you need some help, I know Sherry. I can just say, hey, contact Crystal, and she would like to get something showing that she's completed and she doesn't need therapy. Because the sooner you get that to front of court, I know you don't recognize them, but get that to them, and follow up with the supervised visits and just do that. Get it done so that there's no issues with that.
Well, I don't see there being an issue, really,
Yeah.
at this hearing. As
I
for
hope
soul
not.
legal, soul physical.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope everything goes well.
Well,
So-
if you guys are saying that everything's fine within my home,
Yeah.
and all the evidence is against him, I just don't see them going against the recommendation. I see Josh objecting.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I still see Josh going through a jury trial. I really do.
They
him
said-
showing up, he could have honestly, had there been an issue, his bond is to stay away from Adeline. That's a no contact order.
Yeah.
So if he has any contact or he's threatening to the community or anything like that, he's probably more likely to go back to the criminal court.
Yeah.
And then, then they take it from there. I don't know what the terms would have been for that incident because I never.
It's a year.
Is it a year? So he'd be in jail for a year.
Yeah.
And a second offense.
Yeah. So it might be longer.
See, he committed a domestic on Valerie back in 2014.
Valerie, his ex-wife, right?
Yep, James's mom,
Yeah.
the one that lost all custody to all of her kids, and he still married her. Her rights were terminated.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't help love.
That's not love.
Whatever that is.
I don't know what that is.
But all right, just let me know when you like to schedule.
I didn't mean to say that out loud.
What?
Nothing.
Just let me know what you would like to do on Monday, and we'll just go from there. Okay.
All right.
Thanks for letting me see your house. Appreciate it.
There's not many that are able to.
Well, I mean, I feel like we built a pretty good rapport. I'm not trying to I'm just trying to do my job and appease everybody at this point. Unfortunately, because I mean, honestly, his mental health is very concerning, and I still can't understand how he got sole custody.
Manipulation. It's been like that his whole life.
And that's why we say, like, trust the courts. Is so we trusted the court to make that decision, and they made the wrong
Did
decision.
you not show up for the court hearing or something?
No, I
He
did.
showed up with a lawyer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But I wasn't there. I'm only like going from my case.
I've hired an attorney twice.
Did you? Did you hire one for this one too?
Last time, yeah, last year.
But I mean, for the case that
No, I'm about to fight that myself. I am not paying not another attorney
I know this.
that works for them.
Kept your arm.
Work.
No. You did.
Work.
Oh,
I'm getting-
Doing stuff.
know.
doing floors
when I
and
was
drywall.
I had bruises all here.
I just did this. I got I scraped. I was cutting the board, and the
Yeah.
board came down, and
Ooh.
it swiped my skin off.
Hey, it's bad for keeps. That's what happens when you really do have a strenuous job.
My knees would be busted up if I didn't have any knee pads.
That's right. It's bad getting older because you got to wear, elbow and knee and helmets half the time.
Well, we're doing the vinyl floor, and I grab it and I hold it, and I hold it right here to cut it,
Yeah.
and just the corners get me.
Hey.
I'm anemic, so
Oh, that was bad.
what? I will.